All right, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases. It is Wednesday. The three of us are back. I thought I had the WagerTalk logo. It's disappeared, but we'll get it back on the screen at some point. Total Bases. Tokyo Brandon is back. He has made his trek, I think, across Japan.
Pretty much.
What did you say? A 6-hour drive to get across the country? A
Yep,
lot
I
shorter
drove
than going across the U.S.
not across the whole country, but yeah, it was a 6-hour drive. Japan's about the size of California plus a little bit of Oregon, and I basically drove from LA to San Francisco, about that distance. So with Japanese traffic, though, it takes about 6 hours. So.
I hear you. We are glad to have you back. Bryan Leonard, great call on the Yankees on the show yesterday. The parlay fell short by a half a run. We were just, lamenting off screen. I feel like anything else we talked about on the show yesterday, the Marlins, I thought about using that over in the Reds White Sox game, all would have won. And I picked Nats plus 1.5. So I ruined the parlay. My bad. 2-2 day for me on Tuesday. I do have a 5% play tonight on a game that I love. How was your Tuesday, Bryan Leonard?
Yeah, it was very much of the same. I gave out the Yankees on the show. I like the Chicago over, use that as a free play. I disagree with you on the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs win. Everything won, except for my 4% play on the Cleveland-Detroit game under. And, I thought I was going to lose by half a run, but it just ended up scoring a little bit closer. Cleveland made it a little bit closer. But, yeah, lost on the only play I gave clients yesterday, so that's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's the worst. That is the absolute worst. When you've got a bunch of winning thoughts and the one that you get to the window with doesn't win. Tokyo Brandon, did you get to the window with a winner on Tuesday?
Yeah, I was on the Rays minus on the run line, and that cashed quite easily. They just pretty much curb stomped the Athletics. But then I lost it back in Asian baseball tonight, so ready to start over and get it. I do have two 4% plays in MLB today that I really like. It's kind of an interesting card we got today, so can't wait to deep dive into it with you guys.
It is interesting. Billy Roberts says, Trig, imagine if you went with the A's again yesterday. That's why listen, that's one of the great things about coming here and doing this show 6 days a week. I listened to what Bryan had to say about the Rays, and I was like, yeah, I'm all set. I'm good here. And so it kept me off of, potentially firing out a play that would have lost. And I think the three of us would all say that this helps our handicapping.
Definitely.
Hopefully it helps your handicapping. Bryan, I'm going to let you start. Yesterday, I thought you made complete sense with the Yankees. I wanted to join you. I couldn't get there on the price, but it did. It ends up winning. So great call. They are back on national TV tonight on ESPN. Mariners, Yankees to you. Kick us off.
Yeah, the Yankees didn't do it with the offense. In fact, they were trailing 1-0 for a long time in that game. We're looking at the Mariners at the Yankees today, and we've got Bryce Miller against Will Warren. Will Warren's about a 125 favorite, 8.5 on the over. But I kind of like the Mariners a little bit better in this one. Obviously, I'm a big Bryce Miller fan. And the bullpen, they used a little bit of the bullpen yesterday, but Munoz, the closer, hasn't pitched in 3 days, and they had Monday off. So I don't think the bullpen's a problem for anybody other than Michael Rucker, who blew the save and took the loss. He pitched 25 pitches. Sir Anthony Dominguez, 24. Not two guys, if I'm trying to win a game, that I'm worried about. Dominguez going from the closer in the offseason into the early part of the season, and now he's like one of the middle or late relievers, or earlier relievers, excuse me. But from a hitting standpoint, Josh Naylor got hurt yesterday. He's a guy that seems to get hurt every once in a while. Don't know how much that's going to bother him today, if he's back or not. But he was actually one of their hotter bats. He, along with Julio Rodriguez, had been hot. But I like Bryce Miller. And I think the price, if you're looking at who has been a good hitting team over the last month, it's clear that some teams have been lousy, other teams have been pretty good. The Yankees, the last month, 76, and the only team worse than them is the Angels at 69. That's the WRC plus. So you're expecting a team missing some key offensive players to hit a lot better than they have. I don't think they're going to do that against Miller. The Yankees have got Will Warren on their side, and we talked about Will Warren in the past that he's been much better at home than he has been on the road. He's ranked the 72nd best pitcher. He's actually pitching pretty well right now. All the Yankee starters in the last 2 weeks, that's what's been carrying them. Fried's 8th, Cole 22nd, Schlittler 28th, Weathers 8th, and Warren 48, which is the least of all of them. But at least the Yankees are getting some good pitching right now. From a bullpen standpoint, I think the Yankees are in pretty good shape here. They did have Bednar, 19 pitches yesterday, but he had the last 2 days off. So if I'm playing this one, I'm either playing Seattle or I am playing the under 8.5 because both bullpens are in pretty good shape. And even though the Yankees are a bad hitting team, Seattle's another one that it really has not got it together offensively all season long.
Tokyo Brandon, I think that's what's so encouraging about the Yankees right now is that they really haven't had this lineup, which is obviously improved at the trade deadline, getting guys like Luis Garcia, Julio Ramos, George Lombard has played great since being called up. Really haven't hit it all yet. They're winning they're winning games, like Brian said, with just great effort after great effort from their starting pitching. At some point, you got to think the bats maybe catch up, and then this Yankees team starts to look real good if they start putting some offense up. Does that happen here for you?
Yeah, guys. Sorry I missed yesterday's show. I'm in the mountains of Japan in the middle of nowhere, and no, I am not in my mother's basement. I'll just try to improve the lighting for the future shows while I'm out here. But so let's get to this game. This is the only game on the card, the entire card today, where both teams are hitting 28th or worse in current form. Now, we've spoken in shows past that the Yankees, with their trade acquisitions, have actually upgraded their lineup quite a bit, especially with Garcia, etc. But I agree with Brian. Miller's a good pitcher, and he's got really good numbers against these batters that he's facing today, but Will Warren does too. So that automatically makes me want to go to an under. When I checked the numbers right before the show, it looks like the first 5 innings is under 4.5, which seems kind of high to me. I don't think either one of these flaccid lineups are going to average 1 run per inning for the first 5 innings against these really good starters that are against them. So I see some people in the chat saying under 8.5 or under 9. I think under first 5, 4.5 would be a little more reliable because we're not really sure what we're going to get out of the bullpens. But both bullpens performing so-so. Seattle's slacking a little. Yankees bullpen's performing quite well. But, yeah, I think first 5 under 4.5 would probably be the way to go if I bet this. And I actually might put it out while you're talking.
Yeah, my projection came out right on the number, 8.5. Doesn't, I still can see some merit in the under, as I've said, or we've all really sort of pointed out at this point. Yankees, even with the lineup upgrades, really have not hit yet. The Mariners have not hit at all. And I think for, the thing here, if you think Will Warren is going to be good, again, he's been a little inconsistent, but I think he's definitely trended in the right direction. Like Bryce Miller has been awesome. Like hard to poke any holes in what Bryce Miller has done this year. Remember, this is a guy that was hurt and had to come back from an injury. And really, like, since he's got up to speed, it's been lights out. A sub-1 whip. You look at all of his expected numbers are really, really good. Expected ERA is 2.74. That's an elite mark. Extremely high chase rate. His command has been fantastic, and no one's squaring him up at all. One of the lowest hard hit rates in the league. So nothing you can really say about Bryce Miller in a negative aspect right now. Is a little bit of a fly ball pitcher, but I don't think that's going to really burn him here. This is, he's come. I want to say it was last year. I had Bryce Miller at Citizens Bank Park, and he gave up a couple of home runs, and it was like the crowd got to him a little bit in that particular start. It was a big start. It was a big game for the Mariners, similar to this one. But I don't know, man. I've been talking about it all weekend since I was just there at Yankee Stadium. It's not the same aura as the place used to have. I don't know. This isn't like the Yankee Stadium of old or the crowds of old. I still again, I don't think Miller's going to have trouble here. If you think he pitches well and you think Will Warren pitches well, there's enough bullpen juice, I think, to get you under the 8.5. So I'll agree with you, gentlemen. I like the under here. This is not the spot I want to fade the Mariners just because I am pretty high on Miller. So Mariners are under for me. All right, let's move it along. I am going to go. So let's hop into the chat. Grant's dad, shout out to you. Always hyping us up. Alex Rand says, interesting cards today. The Reds, a barking dog. Brian and I kind of nailed this one yesterday. We got the total. It came late, but we that was part of the handicap, Brian, was it not? Some of the lack of bullpen on both sides, and it was but it wasn't really the way I would thought it would go. The Reds, of course, were the team yesterday that did the late damage on the road. Not something that you typically think Reds and scoring a bunch of late runs to win the game. That doesn't always, come up in the same thought, but it did. And the Reds end up winning 5-4. So what Alex Rand wants to know, are the Reds live as an underdog today? Kick us off, Reds, White Sox.
Well, if you're going to bet against the White Sox, Castillo's not the guy I'm looking to bet on. So, yeah, I could understand that. But Lauder's been a little inconsistent, too. He's been better than what I thought he was going to be. He's actually proven himself to be a major leaguer this year, maybe a fourth or fifth starter. But still, that was a problem earlier in his career. We're looking at the White Sox in about the 140 range with a total of 9 to the under. I see 8.5 to the over at the Hard Rock, which is, if you've got a Hard Rock account, make sure you get that because they're always a little bit off on these lines. But yeah, I would take a look at the over once again here. We did it yesterday because the White Sox were so good after a day off. I believe they were 16, maybe not, maybe 17 in a row or some outrageous number. And the Reds got there yesterday, but the White Sox didn't. The White Sox actually, the team total was 4.5. They didn't get to the 5 that they needed to get. I think they get there today with Lauder. Two guys I'm looking to go against in this matchup. And Cincinnati, I talked about it yesterday. The bats are a little, they have not hit all season long, but they're sort of like the Padres right now. Their offense is starting to come around a little bit. The Padres really have been hitting pretty well offensively. Right now, De La Cruz is in the top 100 in the last week. Suarez at 43rd. So there are power guys in this lineup that have been hot as of late. And Sal Stewart, nobody's talking about him about winning the Rookie of the Year. He's having a hell of a season. He was among the leaders in RBIs the other day. I don't know if he still is, but they've got some good hitters on this team. McClain just came back, and he's been lousy this year, but I think he's got a lot of talent. So I kind of like the over in this one. Louder on the season from the power ranks over at Roster Resource. He's ranked 132nd on the season, so not a guy that we're looking to bet on. The bullpen did get a little bit of usage yesterday. Pagan 17 pitches, Burke 18, but they hadn't played Monday. As I said, it was a day off, and in fact, Pagan hasn't pitched all week. So even though he threw 17 pitches yesterday, he'll be there. So the bullpen looks pretty good in Cincinnati. And we'll see how this one goes. But I happen to think maybe let's take a look at that first half. TB got me on the first half in the last game. Yeah, we're sitting at 5. And there's a couple places that you can lay 4.5 and lay some hefty juice at 35. That 4.5 goes down to 25. That might be worthy of a bet in the first 5 because the bullpen situation, I think, is a little bit better here for Cincinnati. I know Chicago used a lot of bullpen in the last week, so we'll see there. But, yeah, if I'm looking to play this, I'm looking to fade the starters a little bit and maybe play the over.
Yeah, I mean, the White Sox can't catch a break in terms of another extra inning game. Tokyo Brandon, yesterday I brought up that even with the off day on Monday, the White Sox have had so much bullpen usage the last week, 13 innings with the Red Sox on Thursday. Friday, their starter doesn't make it out of the first inning. Sunday, their starter makes it 1 inning, and there's a rain delay, and they need 8 innings of bullpen after that. And then, of course, yesterday, maybe they don't cook the bullpen, but they cook Grant Taylor. He went 2 innings, so you're probably not going to see him here. So Reds, White Sox to you, I'm kind of agreeing with Brian. I think you're going to see runs in this one.
Guys, you can get a double play, which is 2 of us 3 for all baseball access. for 3 days, and it's a huge discount. Adam has a 5er out today. I've got 2 4% plays, and Brian has been so hot. He's been ranked number 1 30 days, 3 days, and 7 days. So you can't go wrong with any two of us. So grab two of us for 3 days baseball all access. It's a great deal. Go to wagertalk.com. It's on any of our capper pages. Let's take a look. Wasn't it weird to see Castillo in a black and white uniform? I thought that was really weird. He seems like he's pitched for Seattle for like 20 years. But
how about the Reds? He was on the Reds all the time before that, up against his old team
true.
here. Yeah,
that's true. It just seems weird to see him pitching for the White Sox. I don't know why. Maybe that's because when I started playing fantasy baseball or something. I don't know. Anyways, so I agree with Brian. He's not a guy to back. He's just not himself. He was a stud about 8 years ago. He's not that guy anymore. He used to be one of those guys who could go at least 7 innings every start. He just doesn't do it anymore. And he's a reliable innings eater, but he's one of those guys you can pretty much count on 3 earned, 6 innings, 3 earned every single time he goes out there pretty much. Lauder's not a guy that I like to back either. On my rankings on a curve of 1 to 30, I've got both of these guys at 23. So not real good. Hitting wise, they're both like around 20 or so. The real discrepancy I see here is the Reds bullpen. It's playing a lot better than the White Sox bullpen at the moment, but you would have to be smoking something to back either one of these pitchers, in my opinion. I think the total is the way to go as well, whether it be first 5 or full game. Probably going to see a pretty messy game because just looking at these starters and looking at these lineups and these bullpen, it just looks like a mess to me. And messes usually are like those 13, 14 run games. That's how it's looking to me.
Yeah, we got to the point where Castillo was on the Mariners almost as long as he was on the Reds. I'll always remember, for me, Luis Castillo is a Red. Like, came up, had his best years with Cincinnati, of course. 2 of his All-Star selections were with Cincinnati, and then the year that he was really good, he got traded at the deadline to the Mariners. Where I got to be honest, I'm surprised at how good he's been with the Mariners, all things considered. I thought you could sort of start to see the drop off with Castillo a couple years ago, and he's gone out and battled to like sub 4 ERAs. Yeah, Brian, like I feel like we were bringing this up years ago that he was probably starting to dip, and he just hadn't done that to this point. But like this year specifically, I think has been pretty clear. The drop of the Mariners went as far as to sort of remove him from the starting rotation. He was upset about it. If you remember, they tried to sort of piggyback him with an opener. He was not pleased. Tommy Turnbuckle, I love this right here. Let's go. Louder versus lefties. Yeah, not great. 1.67 whip and a 265 against. Castillo versus lefties. Not great. You look at the StatCast page for both of these guys. Not great. Rhett Lauder is coming around a little bit, but this is a guy that also, former first rounder. If you remember back to college, Lauder versus Skeens, the year that they were in college was like 1 versus 2. And Lauder's had some pretty big injury concerns throughout his career. I don't know if he's the same guy that they drafted first overall. Certainly has been, like Brian said, he's been improved, but I mean, he could still, there's been a couple times this year he's gotten absolutely blown up. And then you look at Castillo, and I pretty much agree with the sentiment across the board. Little bit past his prime. Can the Reds generate some offense here? Yeah, I think so. And then you look at these 2 bullpens. No Grant Taylor likely for the White Sox, or he pitched 2 innings yesterday. And is anyone going to really fear that Reds bullpen right now? I know they were able to sort of hang on yesterday, but that's a bullpen I'm willing to go against. I kind of love the over here. I'm mad we didn't use it for the parlay yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to use it today, but if you can get an 8.5, over makes all the sense in the world in this one. And even at 9, I believe I'm at 9.1 runs. So I too agree with you guys. I see runs in this game.
Yeah, the 9 is listed to the under, and so yeah, even at that number, it's still a little bit of a bargain. You're not paying much juice, if any in that regard. As
Tokyo Brandon said, there's one I love tonight. I made it a 5% play. I'm gonna, if you're listen, we do this double play package, and you get 3 days, and I'll tell you right now, and this is just kind of how I roll. I've been over here treading water, trying to battle for the last first 2 weeks of the month. If I hit this 5%er, get ready for like a slew of them. I'm unloading the clip. So just know that if you do the 3-day, you're probably getting more than one in that 3-day period. If I lose up, I might switch up on that. But I really like this. I really like this play tonight. And then of course, Brian's been hotter than the sun. Tokyo Brandon, he rarely comes on here. I'm like, hey, how'd your night go? Oh, I went 1-0. I went 2-1, 3-2, 3-1. Barely ever has a losing day. He is now in a clear second as we pursue Ski Profit, who is just like white hot right now. Think he's still up over 100 units. Tokyo Brandon second. I'm third. I got to get my act together, or I think like Ralph is going to catch me here. So I need a win tonight. I've got a 5%er, and look at of course, double play. The two of us, you can't go wrong. TB, Brian, myself. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Ralph Michaels, all he does is first inning bets, and he's found a niche, and he's made all this profit on first inning bets. You guys handicap Major League. TB does the Asian leagues and Mexican, I believe, and Trig does the minor leagues, and I do just Major Leagues. But to do just the first inning, you got to give him all the credit in the world to have all that profit in that time. And I know last time I went to see him, he said he was on a losing streak. He lost like 6 in a row, but to do that off of one little thing, it just tells you if you can find something, you exploit it, and that's exactly what he's done.
You get paid in the same currency. Listen, Tokyo Brandon's crushing the KBO this year. I can't figure the league out this year. Okay, I just can't. But he is like last I checked, his wins in KBO count the same money. I'm up 39 units in AAA. I bet there's not someone else out there that's doing that in AAA baseball. It all counts the same. So shout out to Ralph. They said it couldn't be done. They said you couldn't. Yeah. They said it couldn't be done, and he has printed in that Yerfy nerfy first inning market all season long. All right, we'll get back to it. Appreciate you guys letting us pump ourselves up a little bit here on the show. It does help pay the bills. So we'll get back to the game. So let's go to the other game on national TV tonight. Shout out ESPN. I can't stand the network, but I will shout them out right now for bringing back the Wednesday night doubleheader. Reminds me of my childhood. It was always Wednesday night. You got the 2 games. Now you can get every game pretty much at all times. But they've brought it back. So national TV part 2 tonight to you, Tokyo Brandon. Rangers, Angels. This one's out west. How do you see this one?
So Texas was horrible last night. And they got overtaken by the Angels there. We got Cal Quantrill here against Klassen. Quantrill, not a guy who I've liked to back in the past, but Klassen, holy cow. Has he walked less than 4 guys in any of his starts? My goodness, this guy has 0 command and control in his pitches. What is he? Holy cow. His walk rate is absolutely off the charts. Texas was held down yesterday. I don't think they'll be held down today, but we've talked about this on previous shows. Texas is basically the epitome. If you looked up mediocre in the dictionary, this Texas Rangers team would come out because they are so mediocre. Even their good guys like Seager, and they're not really hitting that well right now. Just everything's just kind of blah for this team right now. I think getting walked 4, 5, 6 times in this game will allow them to put a couple runs on the board. Angels, absolutely pathetic in their last 10. I don't think they're averaging more than 2.3 runs a game or some in that area. Texas not much better though. In the last 10 games, they're 5-5. I think they're averaging 3-point-something runs. So neither one of these teams are really putting any runs on the board, but I think the walk issue is going to get to the Angels today. I would take the Texas team total over in this one just because I think they're going to put a lot of runs on. I think Klassen's going to let a lot of guys on base. The one thing good about the Angels this year that they can build on for next season is their bullpen's performing quite well. We've touched on this many times in past shows, so we don't have to rehash it. But the bullpen's pitching quite well. But I still like the Texas over on the team total in this one.
Bryan Leonard, great call by you last time George Klassen pitched. You gave it out on the show. The Angels were a plus 150 underdog. They end up winning the game 4-3. They probably should have won easier than they did. If you missed the game, great ending. Play at the plate to end the game. Angels win 4-3. Klassen wasn't as good as I kind of thought or hoped, I guess he might be. Guy was really, really dominant for a couple months down in Salt Lake at AAA. He was a guy that got called up at the beginning of the season, didn't go well. And the Angels for once probably did something correct when it pertains to a young pitcher. They sent him back down. They let him, they really worked on his mechanics. And the month or two before he got called up, he was lights out. So Tokyo Brandon makes a good point. The 4 walks against the Marlins are concerning. I think it was maybe a little bit of nerves. He started to nibble a little bit. But I kind of have high hopes for him again here. I think he pitches well. How do you see Angels Rangers?
Yeah, I do like Klassen in the long run. As of right now, I agree with TB. He still has not figured it out in the majors. We're getting Quantrill at about a 130, 132 favorite here, with a total of 9, slightly to the under. If you look at Klassen, he's pitched 3 games in the majors. He's got a 33 game score after those 3 games. League average is about 50. And take a look at the teams he has faced, the offenses he has faced: Seattle, Cincinnati, and Miami. Now, Miami's a decent offense. They're around league average, but Cincinnati and Seattle are not having good hitting seasons. And yet his game scores in those games was a 37 against Seattle, 14 against Cincinnati. And then when he came back, he had a 47 against Miami. Better than what he'd done before, but still not something that I would be proud of right now. His walks 4, 5, and 5. So yeah, the walks are pretty bad, especially when in every single game he's struck out less batters than he's walked, and that's not something you want in the major leagues. But I think in the future he's, you take a look at next year. I'm assuming he's going to be in the rotation all year. He may be a guy that we can bet on because he has not looked good now, and people are going to remember that going into next year. As for the bullpen, yeah, that's the strength for the Angels. But they've had to use, the last 2 days, they've had to use a lot of bullpen arms. Ben Joyce will be available, but Samuel Lanteras pitched the last 2 days, 30 pitches. For me, the last 2 days, 30. Murphy, the last 2 days, 40. So, yeah, the closer, Joyce will be there. Natera and Joyce have been, basically switching off in that regard. But the bullpen's not as strong shape in this one. From a hitting standpoint, Zach Noto's pretty hot, but the rest of the guys are not. The Angels have just not hit very well. So, if I'm looking to play this one, I'm probably playing Texas, at least maybe the Texas team total. Let me get a quick look at that. It's sitting there at 4.5 minus 120 to the over. So you got to score 5 runs there. So you may be just better off playing Texas in the game. Their total is 9, and like I said, the line's about 130. Lean with Texas here. Quantrill's been doing this for a lot longer than Klassen's been around. So lean with Texas. Some way to play Texas in this game because I don't really like the Angels pitching in this game, even though, like I said, I think Klassen has got a nice future, but this is the time to go against him.
Yeah, the problem with Klassen is he refuses to throw the ball like over the plate, like out over the plate, which, you know what? That's not the worst thing in the world. Like you in the majors, you don't want to live out over the plate, but the difference, big difference between AAA and Major League Baseball is AAA lineups collectively 1 through 9 will swing at non-competitive pitches. Major League lineups do not swing at non-competitive pitches. And so, this guy throws 97. He could probably afford to just let it rip over the plate at points in time. He is always on the edges to the point where guys are not helping him out. At the big league level, guys just don't help you out. And so if you're going to live on the edges at the big leagues, but you're not like pinpoint and you're not going to hit the corners every time, you're going to walk guys, and that is the biggest difference because He's been dominant at AAA. At the big leagues, you're just not going to get helped out like that. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, great point. I was reading a quote from another pitcher the other day, and he was having success. And they asked him what he changed. He said, I was nitpicking, and when the coaching staff told me just to throw the ball right down the middle, and because the stuff was good enough, that's what he needs to do. The Angels aren't going to make the playoffs. Come on now. He needs to build up his confidence, throw the ball right down the middle the way you did in college, down in the minor leagues, and gain some confidence. Because these guys, even if they know it's coming, the best hitters in baseball only get a hit 3 times out of 10 times. So, it's a confidence thing. Just throw the ball down the middle; it'll move on its own. And
he has pretty good movement on his fastball. He throws 97. Like, just let it rip. If someone, if one of these guys hits it 450, you just shake it off and do it to the next one. But you can't. I'll tell you exactly who he reminds me of. Spencer Arrighetti early in his career when he got called up, and he always got in trouble with the walks, and the Astros couldn't figure out what to do with him because he would beat himself at the big league level. That is my concern for Klassen. So I'm not going to push back on maybe the Rangers here because that's a very disciplined ball club. The Rangers are, we've said it yesterday, they're not elite at anything, but 1 through 9, they have professional at-bats. They play the game the right way. It's why they're in the mix this year. So I think that's a good point that you make, Brian.
Another thing is, even if they aim for the exact middle of the plate, doesn't mean they're going to hit it, right?
That's right.
So he should be aiming for the middle of the plate. It could be a problem with the catcher where the catcher's asking for the ball as well, because I've seen pitchers in the past who get mad at their catchers for holding their mitt too low or too high. So, there's a lot of things going on. These guys are human, but they're not perfect. You're right, though. He should just grip it and rip it. He's got a good enough
There's
stuff.
not many Greg Maddoxes in baseball that can just pinpoint wherever they're going to throw it.
Yeah, he's good enough to grip it and rip it and not get tagged very often.
Yeah, but it's a mental thing too. Especially when you've gotten stung at this level and now you're back up, and it's like there is an element with him probably of here we go again, because when he got called up earlier this year, he got shelled a couple times. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. That will be an interesting game to watch. I don't know if I'll get there with a play, but I can see why you would like the Rangers in that game. All right, the chat collectively is asking for a day game. We've got to give them a day game. I'll go. Let's go first game off the board. I think this is an interesting one. It's also one that I may use for my parlay leg. So, Tokyo Brandon, I'll let you kick this one off. Orioles Twins, your guy, Zebulon Matthews, Daniel Zebulon Matthews, actually his real name, on the hill against Shane Baz. 2 teams sort of scrapping it out, still on the fringe of the wild card race. This one's in Minnesota this afternoon. How do you see this one?
Yeah, again, grab a double play, guys. 3 days, all access baseball, all access. 2 of us 3. All you got to do is go to WagerTalk.com and access one of our capper pages, and you'll scroll down and see the double play right there. So grab one of those. It's well worth the value, and the 3 of us are winning so much. We should have emojis made of us as well. I think we should be the stars. We're crushing it. No one's watching.
Wait, other people have an emoji made of themselves? Did I miss that?
I saw on the hockey show there. Yeah, they look like bobbleheads.
Yeah. For members only, they have emojis. Someone used Ralph's emoji earlier in our chat. You didn't see it? Okay. Anyway, I think it's just for the established cappers, perhaps. I'm not sure. For football guys only, maybe. I don't know. But baseball certainly wins a lot of money for people, so I think we deserve a shot too. And we're number 2 and number 3, Adam. Come on. So we've got Zebulon going against Shane Baz. Shane Baz is a guy I don't have a real good read on because he himself is an X factor to me, because I kind of like him sometimes, but he gets blown up sometimes. And then you look at his ERA, it's really solid, but he's 4-11, which means he's not really giving up that much runs, but the team doesn't produce when he's on the mound. I mean, with his numbers, he shouldn't be 4-11. So something's weird about him. I don't have a good read on it. So when I don't have a good read on it, I don't want to put money on it. Taking a look at Zebby, he had a decent start to the season. He's kind of fallen off a little. Don't like really what I'm seeing. His ERA is bloated. Taking a look at his game log, he's actually had 3 good starts in a row. So he's bringing things back down. His whip is not great. I'd like to see it better. Taking a look at the lineups, Twins hitting a little bit better than the Orioles. Twins have a much better bullpen than the Orioles in current form. However, Baz is in much better current form than Zebby Matthews. However, those last 3 starts,
Brian, did we lose TB?
It looks like we lost TB.
The mountains have engulfed,
the mountains
engulfed
decided
him.
to
Yeah, so I'll let you go here. We'll see if we can get him back. You can pick it up. Twins Orioles.
Yeah, we're looking at. Let's take a look at the number real quick. We are looking at Baz against Matthews, excuse me, and it's basically Minnesota 110. So it's basically a pick 'em with a total of 9 to the under a little bit here. I kind of like Baltimore in this one. Baz, the last 7 starts, he's been pretty consistent. He's got a 53 game score on the season, so he's been a pretty good pitcher for them. And I think, lately he's kind of figured it out a little bit. I'm a little worried about Zebby. Zebby's been up and down. He's been up and down basically his entire career for Minnesota. And the last thing we want is if you're laying a price, small price as it is, but to get a guy that's very inconsistent. From the bullpen standpoint, Minnesota's had a pretty good bullpen, and they're pretty healthy in that regard. But Baltimore's the same way right now. They're pretty healthy as well, and so the bullpens are going to be a key here, which means to me, I think I prefer the starters with. Let me take a look at the first 5 here. You're playing. You're playing slightly more, maybe 20 cents more to get Baz in the first 5. I kind of like that. I can see as low as 110s out there right now, but we'll say 120 on Baz in the first 5 over Matthews. That's probably the way I would go here. Shop around. If you can get it at 110, that's probably the better play. Obviously, the better play. But give me the first half on Baltimore here. I like the pitcher.
Yep. That's going to be my parlay leg, except it's going to be the full game. I would rather have 9 innings of the Orioles against, I know the Twins went out and grabbed some bullpen arms, but I'm still not sold on this Twins pen. I don't think, I still think I'd rather have some of the leverage guys like Garcia and Cano, Yenner Cano starting to have an okay season. Like some of those guys, I still think I'd prefer over the Twins relievers, but for me, Brian, as well, it's Shane Baz. So something that I love about Shane, like what the Orioles have done with Baz is, like, sometimes these teams, like the Red Sox, are guilty of this, where it's like, you're gonna do this, like you're gonna throw the way we want you to throw, and if it doesn't work out, you can get out because we want you doing a certain thing. Shane Baz got to Baltimore, and they said, we want you to throw your cutter more. Like, that was like their thing with him. More cutters. Well, it wasn't working. Like, his cutter usage was way up from what it was last year, and his numbers were not very good. Now we've gotten to the point of the season where you pull up his StatCast page, his cutter usage is on par with what it was last year. What does that tell me? They probably said, you know what? It's not working. Let's just let him do what he's comfortable doing, and we'll tweak and go from there. Since they've sort of like let him, again, just throw the way he wants to throw, and they've probably refined it here and there, or maybe listen, they went out and got this guy from the Rays to be himself. Like I don't think they felt like they really truly needed to fix him. Although if the Rays are giving up on a pitcher, that should be a big red flag. But the point is, he had, they abandoned that whole 40% cutters. And since then, he's looked great. Last time out, 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 runs, 3 hits against the Rangers. And you look up and down, you'd have to go back to June to find when this guy had a bad start. He really, the Angels, there's a game against the Angels where he didn't make it out of the 5th inning, but he didn't really give much up. He only gave up 1 earned run. Other than that, it's been like consistent. Good start. literally for months now. And as you were saying, Brian, Zebby, super inconsistent. You'll get a good start every once in a while, but there's a lot of bad ones mixed in. And even if you look at these bullpens offsetting each other, I give the Orioles the edge in this one. So we've got Tokyo Brandon back. And while you were gone, I was giving the Orioles out as my parlay leg. So if you want to wrap it up, Brian likes first 5 for the Orioles. I like the full game, and that is going to be my leg of the parlay.
I don't know where I cut off. Sorry, I was just talking and suddenly my internet cut out. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, Shane Baz is a hard read for me, but I like how Zebby's been pitching his last 3. So I guess I'll be devil's advocate on this. I kind of like the Twins here. But not enough to play it or make it a parlay leg. So I would trust these two guys' opinion more than mine, perhaps, because I don't have a strong read on it. But Zebby's looked good his last 3 starts despite his bloated ERA. So might give the Twins a look. And by the way, my parlay leg is going to be in a game we've already covered, so you don't have to give me any time for that.
Well, let's see if we can get Brian's then. Brian, have we covered yours yet, or is there a game you'd like to go to talk about?
No, we have covered the one I was going to use. Do you want me to just go with it right now then?
No, let's. We still have show left. We'll hold them.
Okay.
We'll keep the. That's called. Keep them in suspense. We need the viewers right till the end of the show. So I'm actually going to go back to the chat, highlight some of our guys here. Grant's dad, he said, AT, you rule, my friend. I've killed with your picks. I appreciate that greatly. I hope to kill for you tonight. I have a 5% play, and we need this one. So shout out to you. Mr. Big Hands says, could we have a AAA baseball play per day? The answer is no, because I never really know what I'm going to play in AAA until the lineups are posted. But because you asked, and I don't like to just say, I'm a people pleaser, Brian. I don't like to say no. I'll tell you what, I do think Sacramento will be worth a look tonight. Reason being, and this will segue into the game we're going to talk about. Reason being, the Giants have been out of it for a while now. And so they have had no reason to call anyone up. They are going to wait until that service time deadline to bring up all of these studs that are currently just chilling at AAA. Bo Davidson, Turner Hill, Scott Bandura, Parks Harbor. Like they have all these prospects that are just hanging out at AAA, and they're going to wait until I think tomorrow or the day after or whenever. I think it's tomorrow when they can call people up and still have the year of control because they've been out of it. There's no reason to bring any of these guys up. And because they all started the year in AA, there was no reason to bring them up in April or May. So it's just, so they've been sitting on this squad at Sacramento right now. Bryan Leonard, you should get out and go watch this team tonight out in Las Vegas. They play the Aviators. This will probably be the last time that you get a shot with this Sacramento team, because I think starting tomorrow, I think they're going to call them all up as soon as they're allowed to do so without losing the day of control. Bo Davidson is going to be a stud. He's playing, and they're all playing great at the AAA level. They've all been great. So I am going to look to play Sacramento tonight if I get the pitcher that I want. And then again, this will be our segue. Astros Giants. As we said, the Giants they've been out of it for a while. They've been going through the motions. Yesterday, they went through the motions and won. I believe 4-1. Carson Wisenhunt finally had a good game at big league level. So I guess like I kind of foreshadowed this when we talked about this game on Monday or Tuesday, where I thought the Astros might be due to cool off in the hitting department a little bit. They had been so hot and then didn't hit well on Sunday Night Baseball. I believe they did get there in the parlay for Tokyo Brandon on Monday with a 6-3 win. But yesterday, back to kind of cooling off the bats. A 4-1 loss, 5 hits in the whole game, and kind of got dominated by a guy in Carson Wisenhunt that really hasn't dominated anyone at the big league level until yesterday. So Astros Giants, another day game. Brian, kick us off with this one.
All right, we're going with Brian King. The lefty is going to get the start for Houston. Do we know, according to their website, it's unannounced right now who their starter is for San Francisco? Do you happen to know?
So I thought I saw Hauser might get the start. I don't know if that's unless, because again, they could call someone up, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're waiting. So It's probably whatever bulk guy they have laying around. I guess I don't think the Giants, I don't think they care a whole lot right now, to be honest.
I agree. I think it'll be a bullpen game for both teams, but San Francisco is usually a pretty good pitching ballpark. So 8.5 on the total is a little bit high. I'd look to play the over, but playing overs in San Francisco is a challenge. This is one game I didn't really take a look at because I didn't know who was going to pitch for San Francisco, so I'm not going to have anything to add here. So I'm just going to pass it along.
Tokyo Brandon, I think so. Here's what I think is going to happen. I believe King is going to open for Ronel Blanco, and I believe the Giants are either going to use Adrian Hauser as the starter or put someone in front of Adrian Hauser and have him be the bulk guy. With that being said, Astros Giants, you were right in this game 2 days ago. Are you coming back with the Astros here?
Yeah, I think it's the right call, actually. San Francisco is, they had the dominant, the better pitcher yesterday. Still, they didn't look good. San Francisco is the only team in MLB I have ranked worse than 25th at every category I'm looking at right now. The pitching is a little bit of an X factor, like you said. Blanco and Hauser, a little more established than Brian King, but still, I don't have enough innings for these guys for them to show up in my database right now. So just by name and my feeling, I think Hauser's a little more reliable than Blanco, but I don't think either one of them are anyone you'd want to put money on backing. However, the Astros have the second best bullpen in Major League Baseball in current form right now, according to my numbers, where San Francisco has the 26th. So anytime you see a discrepancy like that in bullpen, I think it's a good bet to take the team with the better bullpen, especially when you have very shaky pitching situations for both teams. I also have the Astros hitting quite a bit better than San Francisco, slightly above mediocre for the Astros and almost dead last for San Francisco. So it'd be Astros or nothing for me. But again, a little bit too many X factors. There's a lot of games out there you can bet besides this one.
Yeah, the folks wanted to talk about a day game, and this is one that's earlier. Love to know what the dogs are seeing out there right now.
They're seeing the Giants. Dogs
could be a deer. Every once in a while, we'll just have a deer standing in our front yard. Like that
deer.
is, and I live in a neighborhood. Like that is Central New York in a nutshell right there. We're in like a normal neighborhood. And just
when's the last time you saw a deer out there in Japan, Brandon?
No deers, but I've seen some centipedes, a couple other
I'm out
animals.
Give me the deer.
Rabbits.
I'll take a deer over centipede.
Ticks, though. Deers do carry ticks, which is a big issue here in the Northeast. Don't want that.
I've seen some rabbits.
There you go.
At any rate, Brian, I do agree with you. Like this, I'd love to take an over here. I'd love to take an over with these pitchers. If I knew I was going to get the Astros offense from like a week and a half ago, sign me up for the over all day. I think there's probably some runs in this game. I think the number is probably a little light based on what I make the number here. If you can get an 8.5, it's kind of that key over number where you get to 4-4 and you've got yourself a win. I just can't get over the fact that the Astros have had some really poor at-bats like since Sunday. I was on the Astros on Sunday night. They were awful against Randy Vasquez of all people. Just has voodoo on the team that I bet if I ever try to fade him. And then yesterday, another day where they really just didn't put together good at-bats. It's my only concern. I think I will reluctantly say over for that game, and we will we'll move it along. We'll get one more. We can get one more in since the guys have already. So let's go back to the chat here. Freebird says, thanks, Adam, Bryan, and TB. It's Winning Wednesday. Let's roll. Absolutely. The three of us are here to try to win for you every day. RJ, when can we expect K to be called up to the Mariners? I'm tired of waiting. Well, they're probably manipulating his service time as well. My question is, why hasn't he had a single crack at AAA yet? He's still in Arkansas at AA. I thought they would have at least given him a start in Tacoma yet. You would think that they would want him for the stretch run, but then again, the Mariners' problem isn't really pitching. They kind of have their pitchers. They need guys that can hit. Let's go back to the chat here. We'll get one more.
Colsey makes a really good point there. If you want to see a deer in Japan, go to Nara. Nara has a bunch of deer out there. Nara is like one of the ancient cities in Japan. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, sidetrack.
That's all right. Let's get back. So I'm going to go back to a game that we have talked about twice on this show. I've been very, very wrong on this game on the show. Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to let you kick this one off. You had this yesterday. The Rays, they're another day game. They're still out in Sacramento playing the A's. They've just been hammering this team in this series. They've been hammering teams on the road trip. They've now won 8 games in a row. Drew Rasmussen, specifically in the chat, we have someone asking about their strikeout prop. So I feel like you're a good place to start for this one. Rasmussen, and then we got Jackson Perkins on the mound for the A's. Start us off with this one.
Yeah, man, the Rays, 8 in a row, is it now? All on the road. I don't know if they're all on the road, but man, heck of a road run for these guys. Incidentally, I have Drew Rasmussen projected 17.6 outs today and 6.6 strikeouts. So take that for what it's worth. But he has horrible numbers against the batters he's facing today, and all streaks come to an end. I don't know if I would take the A's, though, because they really look bad. Missing a couple guys. Langoliers is out, and one other guy is out.
A lot of guys are out.
A lot of guys are out. Yep.
Yeah, the guy that you love, Adam, on their team.
Nick Kurtz has been out.
Yeah, Kurtz is out too. So they're missing a lot of power. They still put up some decent runs. They're able to put runs up, but their bullpen is just so bad. Overs for this team almost every day. Taking a look at my actual projections, Rays bullpen pitching pretty well. Athletics bullpen horrible. Athletics hitting really gone into the dumps. Even when they're losing, even when they score 6 or 8 runs, they're losing games. So that's kind of how bad it's gone for them. Rasmussen, though, really bad numbers against these guys. So be careful. I think it's going to be over or nothing again in this. This is monkey ballpark number 2. I think we could call it. So it looks like an over for me in this one.
So that was ultimately what was brought up yesterday. That we talked about the over 2 days ago. There was a whole bunch of runs that got there easily. In the end, after Brian kind of laid it out nicely, where that was your big talking point yesterday when we brought this up. Look how many guys aren't in this A's lineup, and that sort of put me off. That got me off of the A's. I still kind of agreed with the. There was a chat comment that said, "What about the over?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean it kind of makes a lot of sense." Another game where there are 16 runs in the game. So that's the first 2 games of the series, 16 and 16. Brian, if there was one the A's were going to win, I feel like it's this one. But again, I'm kind of going back to what you said yesterday. You look up and down this A's lineup, and there's a lot of names that you'd like to see there that aren't there. So talk to me, Rays A's. Do you have a way in here?
Yeah, Tampa Bay scored 10 and 12 the first 2 games of this series. This is normally when you get teams, and we've talked about this before, when you get double digits, you want to take a look at the under, either a team total or the team going against the team. To me, maybe it's just too obvious. I don't know. Rasmussen against the A's with Perkins. Perkins has been terrible. The A's hitters have not been good. The ones that are in the lineup are hitting the ball on the ground, like I said yesterday. You got to hit the ball in the air when you're playing this game in this ballpark to have success. I want a part of Tampa Bay, so I'm going to play the Athletics under 3.5 runs. Rasmussen, I know he hasn't performed well against this team, but give me Rasmussen to go 7 innings and 7 innings. He may not go 7. He's usually a guy that goes 5 or 6. But the bullpen's in really good shape here for Tampa. And so I don't think the Athletics is going to score 4 runs here, and that would be my play. I don't think their offense is good enough to score 4 runs against the Tampa Bay pitchers they'll be seeing today. So I like the under 3.5 on the team total for Athletics.
Didn't expect Nick Martinez to pitch a complete game yesterday either. That bullpen's fully rested.
Yep.
You know what? I'll piggyback that. I like the full game under. I would have preferred a 10, which sometimes you see in this ballpark. But even at 9.5, that's still a key enough number. You said Perkins has been awful, and he has been, but there's still, like, Jackson Perkins should be way better than he is. I don't really understand why he's not having success. I don't get it. The guy he gets a ton of swing and miss. He's got good stuff. He strikes guys out. Like, I don't understand why he's not better than he's been to this point. So if you can just catch the Rays offense like sleeping a little bit because they just bombed this team back-to-back days, I'm with you. I don't think the A's are going to do much scoring. 9.5 gives you some wiggle room. I like that under actually quite a bit. All right, TB, what are you looking at for the parlay?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the very first game we covered. By the way, get a double play, guys. 3 days full access, 2 of us. Go to WagerTalk.com. Going to go back to the first game we covered, which is going to be the baseball full access, not all sports full access. So going back to the Yankees game, I'm going to take the first 5 under here. We've already covered it, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but both pitchers have really good stats against the teams they're facing, and neither the Mariners nor the Yankees are actually crushing right now, although the Yankees have improved with their trades. But I like the under 4.5 in the first 5 here.
Brian, what do we have for a line for that?
That under 4.5 in the first 5?
Yeah, I think it's plus money too.
It's basically plus 100. Yeah.
Ridiculous, I think.
Yeah,
these teams rank 28th in hitting.
I didn't think you'd get the hook at plus money or even money. That's actually that's very interesting. So yeah,
could move to 5. Who knows?
Yankees first 5 under 4.5. I'm going with the Orioles. Brian, what's the line on the Orioles right now? Full game money line.
Baltimore minus 103.
Minus 103, and what the people have been waiting for this whole time, 20 minutes ago since you teased it. What is your leg of the parlay?
Well, it depends. If you'd have went with me before TB, it might have been different. I do have a 4% going today. Even with the loss yesterday, 24-8 on our 4% plays. And we will have a 4% going today. I'll put it up after the show. I only have to do one show today. All right, here I'm leaving this up to TB or up to Trig, because Trig is the host. I was going to play the Yankees full game under. What do you think?
Different game, but it's good. Game. The people know that you like the under, which is good. TV's already got the full. We can't put a first 5 and a full game under in the same parlay. So yeah, different game.
Okay, I've done that to Brian many times.
He screws me over all the time. We'll go back. We'll go back to another game we discussed. Then we'll go with the Louder Castillo, Cincinnati and the White Sox. I'll play the over 9 at plus 100, and we'll have a nice juiced parlay today where nobody's laying a lot.
It'll be a huge number.
Yeah.
I was real close to using that yesterday and today. So I agree with you on the over. Yeah, I like this one today. We got a day game in there, and we hit this. If we hit this specific one, we are back in the plus on the parlay because the odds are very good. The 3 of us all have plays up. I've got a 5%er. Tokyo Brandon's got a couple 4%ers. Brian, whatever he's got, has been winning on a daily basis. 4%. Check all 3 of us out. He's got a 4 as well. The double play package is up, as well as a bunch of good specials for the month of August. So check out everything that we have to offer at the WagerTalk site. Today's 3-teamer is as follows. Orioles money line for me, minus 103. Tokyo Brandon is going with Yankees Mariners first 5 under 4.5. And Brian is going with Reds White Sox full game over 9. One more time. Orioles money line full game. Reds White Sox over 9 full game. And then Tokyo Brandon is going with Yankees Mariners first 5 under 4.5. That is your show for today. The 3 of us will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.